I started Spanish speaking, so I typically deal with Hispanic foods. Not everyone's Mexican, so you get foods from all across Latin America. So I had food from Peru, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, and in different parts of Mexico they make different types of food, and so you really get a variety of Latin American food. Um, the members in the Spanish stake really spoil the missionaries a lot. Um, you pretty much eat dinner with a member every single day. That's how much they want to feed you, and you'll get stuffed, and they won't leave you until you're rolling out the door. They won't leave you alone, and so you get pretty full. And if you like to eat a lot, you can even, if you ask, they'll feed you lunch as well. And so you can gain weight pretty quickly. I heard it's not too common, but I heard a few cases where missionaries have gained about 30 pounds because they like eating so much. I didn't gain any weight. You just have to be wise with how much food you eat. But a normal dinner would be anywhere from so Mexican taquitos are not like the ones you throw in your microwave and you heat up, but they're like actual like freshly made taquitos. It's just like tortilla with some type of meat or cheese or potatoes, and they roll it up and they fry it, and it's really good. Of course, there's the tacos. The burritos are a little different than you get at Freebirds, or you get those giant. Normally, they're not huge burritos. They're normally smaller than a typical Hispanic burrito. Tamales, depending on the type of, they only make tamales on special occasions, like for weddings, birthdays, or something. And there's different types. Most people are familiar with the Mexican tamale, but there's also a Guatemalan tamale, and the Guatemalan tamales are very different. I remember the first time I had a Guatemalan tamale, they're wrapped in, instead of in the corn husks, they're wrapped um, in seaweed, I think. Don't quote me on that, but they're wrapped in something different. And instead of taking the chicken off the bone, there's still a whole chicken leg right in the middle of it. And so you're eating this tamale, and it's made a little different, so the texture is different. But I was eating it, then all of a sudden I was cutting it because it's big enough for you to have to eat it with a fork and a knife, and there's a bone, and the chicken leg was still right in there. And my companion had chicken thigh. They just throw the whole part of the chicken in there. And they're actually not that bad. The members are very conscious with the missionaries because typically they're gringo missionaries that go there, so they know that some of the more exotic foods are menudo, which is cow stomach. I Depends who makes it. Like, I think it's not that bad, but it's typically like a soup dish, and it's just cow stomach. And typically foods are relatively spicy, but they always prepare dishes for missionaries who can't handle spice. You just need to let them know, and they don't get angry at you for if you can't handle spice. They might make fun of you a little bit, but they won't get mad. Um, there's also another plate called menudo, which is it made depending where they are from Mexico is a Mexican dish, but they use different meats sometimes, but typically it's chicken. But it's chili pepper mix is this chicken covered in chili pepper, this sauce, and it's made of chocolate and some other things. And the first time you eat it, it's gonna weird you out because you're not expecting like chili and chocolate to be mixed together, and then that chicken and rice and beans to it. It's a really interesting flavor, but you have to eat it a few times, and then you'll start maybe appreciating it. Like, I like it. Some people, of course, with every dish, some people make it better than others, but I don't know. I really enjoy it a lot. The craziest dish I ever had was probably in the first week of my mission, and when I didn't know the language, I didn't know like how to eat like Hispanic food because they don't use silverware. They just eat with their hands, or they use a tortilla as their silverware. So like with soup, they just have a tortilla and they just dip it, and I still don't know how they do it. I still have to ask for a spoon, but they eat soup with a tortilla. But So we go into this part member family home, and they're just sitting down for dinner, and they invite us to sit down and join them, and we just barely ate, so I was full already. And they give us this soup. It had a crab in the middle of it, but it was still a whole crab. So, and it was a big one too. And so his legs were hanging out of the soup, and just the body inside, and it was just in water, and there was some shrimp in the water too. And I never, like, I like seafood, but I never was affluent enough, I don't know, to get like a whole crab or a whole lobster or stuff like that. And so they're just sitting in there, and I sat literally like waited to stop eating because I didn't know how to eat it. So I was watching the other people eat it, and so I tried, but I probably got like maybe 2 strips of meat off the crab because I didn't know how to break the crab up correctly and to get the meat out off of it. But the water was super spicy, and like I didn't know how to eat it because they didn't give me silverware. They just had tortillas and bread, and so I was just watching. So I asked my companion to ask for silverware for me because I couldn't eat it, and they made fun of me and saying I'm a very stereotypical gringo. But that's pretty much a typical general thing for Hispanic or for serving Spanish speaking. I was good friends with a lot of the English elders too. You get that you're not in the same zone as the English elders, but you see them all the time because our areas overlap, and they get spoiled. They get because the members where they serve, because they changed the boundaries of the mission when I was in there, and so the current boundaries, the areas are very very wealthy, and so when members feed you get very 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 nice food. You get like steak, you get ribs, you get all the goods, all the works in the English program. And so, yeah, food's good. And then, not to mention all the places to go, because you get a debit card for your food. You get, when I was there, it was $150 a month for food and for your shampoo and stuff like that. And when I was there, we were allowed to go have district lunch after each district meeting. And so you go out to eat, and there's a lot of really, really tasty places to go to. And so food is definitely a good thing. That's why missionaries gained weight in our mission, but luckily I was one of them. So